Hello and welcome to my lectures. I'm going to talk about how managers in a business setting should communicate with their employees by bad news. Actually, no one likes to hear bad news, and this is not appealing for. This is not pleasing for any. But researchers showed that always or maybe sometimes delivering bad news is more difficult than receiving it. As a manager, if you don't know how to communicate with your employees and give them bad news, it's time to learn how to manage it, how to deliver it. New and inexperienced managers sometimes find it difficult to communicate with their employees, and so there is some instructions that managers need to follow to cope with to communicate with their employees. Actually, the first one is that you need to deliver it in person. You yourself need to deliver it because your body language and your attitude are really important. If they are supportive rather than accusatory, it could lessen the bad impact of bad news, and you can help the employees be assured that it's not personal. And delivering bad news by letters can be harmful because your employees may think that you don't care enough about them to communicate them with directly, and maybe they think that the relationship is over. The other important factor is that you don't try to coat a bad news with sugar. It means that don't alleviate the bad impact of this with combining with other positive news. Actually, we know that when people hear bad news, often blame the messenger. So there is a tendency to soften the bad news with other positive news. What happened after that is that you may seem insincere, or negative important news may be lost in the positive one. Actually, so if although your intentions are good, employees prefer to have a straightforward conversation rather than managers skirting or downplaying the issues. The other important factors that you need to take into account is that you show that you're understanding the situation. Um, so regarding that, don't think that everything is easy. Remember that something that you are going to say is really difficult to hear, and if the performance of one of your employees is not up to the standards of you have said, you need to be clear, and you need to be clear on where and how they could improve, and how they could work all together to improve the level of performance, to raise the standard. Um, yeah, sometimes a company has financial problems, and their salaries need to be decreased. Again, you need to be clear why this cut is necessary and how you can make it up for them in the near future. You need to acknowledge that bad news is always a part of the business, and you cannot deny it. You should just try to manage it in a better way. Actually, you need to be open, flexible, and trustworthy regarding that. Invite questions and answer them honestly. If you think that the recipient is not ready to discuss, you can schedule another opportunity for them to talk about the issues in the next meeting. You need to build trust in your employees, and by showing that you have you by showing your tendency to share the bad news with them. It makes them easier to accept. To make a long story short, the way the message is delivered is really important. You need to be clear, flexible, and knowledgeable, direct, informative, and you need to remember that difficult conversation build a stronger relationship and improve the performance of employees in the long run.